Sweating them 8 cube games. Gotta put on some extra deodorant, boys. What am I doing? Everybody else. Buckle up, guys. Perry's making another video. Sweet cheeks, oh my. Hit the stop button. What is up, gang? Welcome back to the channel. I can actually say that this time because this is the second video I've made for Marvel Snap. So the last video I made was talking about the truth about getting to infinite and why you may never get there. And I did not make another video or stream since, because to be honest, I did not have a good time last season. I was actually thinking about uninstalling the game. So we'll talk about that a little bit. I actually shot this video yesterday and then I started splicing all the parts together. And this video is going to be like 8 hours long. I'm not doing that to y'all. So be a little bit more concise. But what we're going to talk about today, we're going to look at the 3 decks that I used to get to infinite. But more importantly, why I was able to get to infinite this month. Because let's talk about it. Last month, I didn't get to infinite. I started at rank 70 because I had gotten infinite the month before during the Wakanda season. And I got to 85 probably about the second day and did not get any higher for the rest of the month. And it wasn't that I wasn't trying. I didn't play as much as the previous season, but I was trying to win. And I just rubber banded from 80 to 85 constantly. Dara put out that leader deck and it's like it just took over and I just couldn't win consistently. And yeah, I wasn't real happy with how I was feeling when I played. I couldn't play the things I wanted to play. I enjoy the game. The game's fun, but also part of me having fun is being competitive and winning. So I was really ready just to uninstall the game, but this season was differently. Like I said, I made the video yesterday, but we still got 3 weeks and 2 days. So I think I hit it with 3 weeks and 4 days left on the season pass when I hit infinite, which is 2 days quicker than I did the last time I got infinite. But enough of all that. Let's talk about what was different, how I was able to get to infinite this season. And we'll start by looking at the 3 decks I played. So first off, from 50, because remember I only got to 85, from 50 to about 85, I played this deck right here. Leader's a cheater. It's just a solid deck. I really like the Dino package, so I was playing that with Arrow and Leader. Obviously I threw in Zabu, and yeah, but I'll be honest, and I don't know if this is just a fluke or what, but from 50 to about 79ish, 80, I felt like 75% of my matches were against bots. I don't know if there's a big gap between players that get to infinite and players that finish the season at lower ranks, 40, 50. And so there was nobody for me to play, but the majority of those matches were bots. I climbed up to in the 80s very, very quickly, very easily. A lot of 8 cube matches from the bots. I'll take it. I don't know what else to say. But once I got into the mid 80s, this wasn't working that well. Leader's not surprising anybody. So I swapped to this deck here that I named Big Money Hawk. I'm not sure where I saw this list. Might have been Specimen. This is not the original list because you're like, why do you have Hawk as the name if there's no Darkhawk in there? That's because Darkhawk was originally in there. And this is the deck. Once I show you the third deck, we're going to come back to this deck and we're going to specifically talk about this deck because this is the reason I was able to get to infinite. But so this is the deck I played. Originally I had Darkhawk in for Shuri and I had Rock Slide in here for Crossbones. Now the reason that changed is because of Death Altar. Guys, I hated Death Altar. I was so sick of getting hit with, a 1-drop on turn 1, Electro on turn 2, Leech on turn 3, Dr. Octopus on turn 4, and then Galactus into Null and all this stuff. No. The last 24 hours, I didn't even play. I was like, nope, I'm done. So if you don't want to play around or change your deck when you have these hot feature locations, just take a break is all I can tell you. That's what I did. I think it's neat for them to showcase their new places, but 48 hours is way too long for that. But so this is the deck I ran. You do not have to have Shuri or Darkhawk. Shuri, I felt, did make it a little bit more consistent because you can come from behind by dropping, you know, a 24 power Magneto or a 28 Giganto. But honestly, you can put any good 4-drop for Shuri Crossbones. I don't recommend White Queen because there's no telling what she may pull, and that may make it a little inconsistent with how big Dracula is going to be at the end of the game. But like I said, we're going to come back. I'm going to make a timestamp just for this deck because I want to talk about why this deck was the reason I got the Infinite. The last deck, this one, calling it Zabulk. This deck here, I used to climb from 95 to Infinite. Took me a couple hours, and I don't know. It's like I just feel like I can't lose with this deck. I retreated maybe 3 or 4 times on my climb to Infinite from 95, but that was it. I didn't lose any other matches. I won a lot of 4 and 8 cubers. You can put a ton of power down on the final turn if you were able to like copy your Darkhawks or how many rocks you're able to put in your opponent's deck. Depending on how the game plays out, you can actually drop 2 Darkhawks and 2 She-Hulks on turn 6. It's nuts. It's really nuts. This is my favorite deck currently. Darkhawk is my favorite card. I love this deck. Now, like I said, I've always enjoyed the Dino package and that sort of thing of building up your hand, playing these big cards out. Now, obviously, this doesn't have like Agent 13 and Coulson where you're putting these random cards in your hand, but it's still kind of the same concept where you're playing big cards out based on what's in your opponent's hand or their deck and that sort of thing. I love this deck. This is my favorite deck, and I'm gonna post it at the end. I streamed a little bit yesterday. I got about, I don't know, it was like a cube a minute or less, and I didn't have any losses. And I'm gonna post it. Obviously, I'm gonna cut that feed up so that you're not listening to me talk between matches, but the matches are back to back to back to back, no losses. I have not lost since I got to Infinite. I'm 104 right now. But anyways, so let's talk about why I got to Infinite this season when I couldn't do anything last season. Now, the previous video I made, I talked about the most important part of this game being the snapping mechanics, right? Last season, with so much leech and leader, I just couldn't snap properly. When I thought I had the game locked down, I was getting leeched on turn 5 after I snapped, so I was forfeiting that cube. Or, you know, I thought I had the game locked up and some shenanigans happened with leader and I was losing. And I never felt comfortable. I didn't know when to snap. And I couldn't do anything. I was like at this, you know, basically I was breaking even. I would go up from 80 to 85 real successfully one day and then back down to 79 the next. And I did that for basically 4 straight weeks. So we get to this deck, and if you're looking at this deck, you're like, you're not playing anything till turn 3. You've got some casino aspects from Jubilee and Dracula. I don't see how you were able to, you know, I could have took this deck all the way to Infinite if I wanted, but you know, I don't see how you were able to be successful and consistent with this deck. And the reason I was able to be successful is because the snapping rule that I followed for this deck was insanely easy. And I would suggest not that you have to play this deck, but if you can build a deck that has a similar, you know, snapping rule that's very easy for you to follow, I really think it's going to help you be successful. So here's what I did. If I had Zabu in hand by turn 3, or I drew him on turn 3, I snapped. Didn't matter about anything else. I snapped. If my opponent snapped me when I had Zabu in hand, I did not snap back, but I did stay in. Now, I may snap back later on in the game, but if they snapped me and I had Zabu, I just stayed. Lastly, if somebody snapped me and I didn't have Zabu, I left. That's it. Now, sure, there were probably some games I could have stayed in and won or lost more cubes. We'll never know because I left. I got the heck out of there. You know, seeing what your opponent's going to do after they snap is a great way to lose cubes. I think the majority of the player base doesn't snap unless it's just they've got whatever in their hand landslided. And so oftentimes when someone snaps me, I know I'm probably going to get beaten. So I followed that rule to a T. I didn't let my, I don't know what you call it, my curiosity get the better of me. I left. Now, I didn't pull a lot of 4 and 8 cube games because a lot of times on turn 5, what I was doing was dropping Spider-Man and Absorbing Man and locking them out. So they just left. But it's very consistent. You get Zabu down, or you're able to get Jubilee down on turn 4 that pulls into Zabu or something really big. You can usually clutch it out. And like I said, I know Jubilee and Dracula are kind of casino-ish. You know, you don't know what they're going to pull. But the way this deck's built, it actually works and is very, very consistent. Like I said, I originally had Darkhawk and Rock Slide in here. And the reason I took Rock Slide out is because when Altar of Death came in, I did not want to be giving my opponents anything to play into the Altar of Death. So I dropped Crossbones, but also there's a lot of awkward times where you have 2 or 3 really big cards in your hand at the end of the game for Dracula to hit, but you may have one little small 4-drop like Absorbing Man, and there's a chance he may hit it. Well, Crossbones is a bigger target, right? Because you know you're going to pull America Chavez, so you could play her out, and worst case, you hit Crossbones, which is an 8, which isn't bad. I think having America Chavez in a deck can help newer players learn when to snap, because on turn 5, you know what's coming on turn 6. So you don't have to be like, oh, should I stay in? And if I get that top deck I need, I'll be able to win. Well, you know it's going to be Chavez. So a lot of times it's helping you save cubes because you don't have to guess what you're going to top deck, right? The other thing is I've become a huge fan of Omega Red. Activating that ongoing ability won me a lot of games, especially in the Altar of Death if my opponent wasn't built to be able to have cards in there. Being able to throw 4 power over there at the very end. Yeah, like I said, I was very successful. It was very slow in the sense of, yes, most of my games were only 2 cubes, but very consistent. I didn't lose these 8 and 4 cubers because, like I said, I was snapping and retreating very effectively, and that was due to having a very, very simple snap plan. And so that's what I was going to tell you. Last season, I couldn't get above 85. This season, it took me a little over a week and got infinite, you know, and with a, you know, basically a casino-ish kind of deck that doesn't even play anything for 3 turns, sometimes 4 turns. It comes down to snapping. You can snap your way to infinite with any deck, right? And like I said, this is it. And that's what I want to tell you is just, I would say to try and build a deck, whether it's this one or something else, that you can have a very specific snap plan for. Hey, if I have these cards in hand, I'm going to snap. If I don't have these cards in hand, I'm going to leave, right? And that's what I did. Now, like I said, this is the deck that I used to go from 95 to 100. I was getting a little tired of playing the other deck, and I was like, hey, let's try this deck out. And I'm a huge fan. It's always got something good to play on curve. It puts a massive ton of power out. It's disruptive. I love it. This is my favorite current deck. And like I said, I'm going to put some highlights from yesterday's stream on. No losses. I think it's four or 5 games back to back with no losses. I didn't play much yesterday or this morning, but the games I've played, I still haven't lost. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this deck here. And so yeah, that's what I want to tell you. Like I said, I had a ton of information that was just nonsense that I made yesterday. I just don't think people care to see 30 minutes of me rambling on about, you know, playing at different times and all these other, you know, confirmation bias theories I have in my head about how to be more successful in the game. So yeah, that's what I want to tell you about. Tell you why I was able to get to infinite this time with, you know, to me, a lot of success after not being able to, because I can tell you, I was crushed last season. I went from being infinite in the Black Panther season in a little over a week to getting 85 and staying at 85 for 4 straight weeks. I'm telling you, I wasn't having a good time. I felt defeated. I felt like, man, am I not as good as I thought I am? And I was ready to delete the game, uninstall, and move on to something else. This season, I was just like, I'm gonna play what I want and have a good time. And then next thing I know, I found myself being quite successful compared to last season. But yeah, so anyways, gonna throw the highlights on after this. If you enjoy the games, great. Appreciate you sticking around for the video. Hopefully some of this information maybe help you out a little bit. Because I know if you want to be successful and competitive in this game, that it can be very frustrating, especially as you're approaching infinite and you think you're going to hit there and you swing down from 99 to 93 or something like that. My first season I went infinite, I was actually like 99.7 and went all the way down to 89. And I was like, oh, it's done. I'm never going to be able to get to infinite. I can't. And I did climb back. So I understand, gang. So hopefully what I told you today may help you out a little bit. Try these decks out if you want, but more importantly, I would say look at your snapping plan, see if you can come up with something very simple for you to follow, and it's going to help you not lose more cubes than you should be. All right, gang, I will catch you next time. Man, I cannot believe I just poured like all this stuff down my front. Oh. I mean, we got Zabu in hand. I usually like to see Moon Girl when I'm snapping with this, but we'll take it. Do I want to play Zabu and Asgard? Kind of cluttering that up, but I really want the 2-card draw. I'm gonna play over here. I'm gonna put Rock Slide. All right. Well, we're gonna do this, and if he draws, I think this would keep him from drawing, and if he does draw, he's gonna get 2 rocks. And I'm playing Rock Slide second so that I can, if I want to, follow it up with Absorbing Man. Go from there. Oh, he's not gonna draw cards regardless. That's a good Black Widow play because he's not gonna get a card that's been inverted next turn. Oh yeah, he's toast. I think he's toast. Can I play this? I want him to have 2 more rocks since I've got both Darkhawk and Mystique in hand. I think that's better than trying to slide something over here. It better to, yeah, I'm gonna float. This is the play I'm gonna go with. So we know one of these will be the I think he's gonna leave. Well, I'm glad he played that this turn. He's gonna regret that. So he's got to play Silver Surfer to win this. Yeah, I think he's toast. Oh no. Crap. Crap. I should have played Darkhawk out last turn. Play Silver Surfer. This goes up to 4. We lose. You know what? Calculated. Calculated. He would have definitely been toast if I got to play both. It's kind of weird. The missions and everything reset like 2 minutes before the hour. Oh. Well, if we can get Zabu going, this will be good. I really wish, maybe not a permanent, you know, just like a mute everything all the time. But I feel like if you mute a person, the next time you face them, it should stay muted. I don't like seeing 50 emojis when I retreat or somebody has a 1 in a million luck happen. I think we snap here. I think we snap here. Next turn, we're gonna Moon Girl our hand. Yeah, we're snapping here. It's different when 2 infinite players are playing each other now, I think. I was gonna say don't play the Dark Hawk out, but I'm gonna float next turn, and I'll play 2 Moonhawks and a She-Hulk. I was thinking of playing it. I was thinking about playing it, getting 2 She-Hulks, floating next turn, and then I could play this with 2 She-Hulks. What's better? 2 more draws, so it'd be at a 4. That's only an 8. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do.
Breaking news.
So 1, 2. I can play 2 and a Mystique. He might have or screw it, why not? We're both infinite. I ain't got nothing to lose. Oh, he's got priority. Is this what I want to do? Yeah. We'll see. He probably moves a bunch of stuff over here, I would think. This is 20. Close. Close. I don't know. Let's hop back into it though. I'm feeling a little sticky from my incident. You just got morbed. I sure hope not. All right, got some Thanos action going on here. Not the best start. We're probably gonna be retreating this. It's not so bad when you start with Sunspot and then you float turn 2. Well, I'm playing She-Hulk next turn. Yeah, I think we're gonna be losing a cube here. Unfortunately. And a rock, bro. What is this hand? And I still don't understand the stones. Like I don't have them memorized. I have to look at them every time. Does he want more card draw? I don't want him to have more card draw. I want him to have lots of cards in his deck, so that my Darkhawk is big. Mother trucker. He's getting a draw. Oh, no, he's not. We stopped him. Can't play both of these, right? That was almost bad order. So Thanos is 18. I just want to make sure he can't move anything out of here. Because one of the stones lets him move. Next turn you get +1 energy. I'm still a noob, guys. One of them lets you move cards around and it dicks everything up. Oh, dang. So if I float here, I win. Right? That would only be 3. I'd lose. Hey, hey, I didn't get morbed. I got a cube is what I got. But I think Darkhawk is stronger, especially now that Zabu's here, because you can play disruptive cards. Darkhawk gets bigger, you can play him for cheaper. So this is like Dino, but better, right? So I'm all about it. I'm a huge fan. Huge fan. What I'm not a huge fan of is all this. This is what I was talking about with the mute. No, I'm not snapping, and I'm not. Oh, look, we got a fellow rock player. I wish this would have been the only one card can be here. I can't tell you how many times I've played into that after snapping and have to retreat. Holy moly. Okay. We can play this next turn. Let's hope it's not Zabu. Dang it. We're probably leaving here, guys. Just so everyone's clear. Depending on what he plays, if I have priority, I'll sling him around with arrow and he'll be in a bind. Play. Let's see. That's not where I want him to play. Yep, you're gonna get what you asked for, my friend. I'm not snapping because he'll leave. Is there anything he could play? He can play 3 cards. Now I've got room for 3. You know, you kind of annoyed me. So, kind of annoyed me, so I'll let you. I'm probably giving up a cube by doing that, but it is what it is. Yeah, everybody go over there. Thank you. Some big hawks you got there, man. Some big hawks you got there. Guys, don't be annoying. He started it. He started it, okay? Look, someone makes a good play, gonna give him the fist bump, right? Don't be doing the what just happened, what just happened, blah blah blah, and like hit me with 100 like, just no, stop. I know. So when Darkhawk came out, I was a huge fan. I'm rambling way too much. Rambling way too much. Also, able to climb with this specific. Just slap that mic.